Hey guys, it's jackpunkington, and today we're trying something a little bit different. This is something I've actually wanted to learn how to do, and if it sucks, it sucks. I hope you enjoy, though. Today we are reviewing Abysmal, which is the newest single by Never the Crash. But we're not just reviewing the song. I'm not just doing that. We're reviewing the music video that just came out this morning. First off, when the single came out, I had downloaded it, and I listened to it straight for an hour at work today. It's so good. Then Don messaged me and said, hey, here's the link for the music video. And I went to break at 9 o'clock, and it was doing like a premiere countdown, and I was able to watch the premiere countdown. That was pretty cool. And I watched the music video, and it's really good. But needless to say, let's start into it. So, here we go. I like the whole aesthetic already. The colors are really cool, and the warehouse vibe gives me like early 2000s nu metal. Okay, I have to pause here for a second. Someone in Never the Crash, if you guys watch this video, is Don on the drums? Because, like, it looks like Don. It doesn't look like Billy, which is weird. But is Don on the drums and playing guitar at the same time? Because it does show Billy in, like, a different setting. And I feel like Billy is playing a character that I'll get into in a bit. But I'm pretty sure Don's also playing drums at the same time. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know why, but every time I watch that, like, oh no, my microphone. I see, like, Billy do this. I don't know why, but I love that. This song is so heavy, and it is the perfect. It's also the first track of the album. It's the perfect first track because it really just draws you in with how much it literally starts off with probably one of the sickest bass intros ever, and then you just hear like it's a simple just open guitar like palm mute riff, but it sounds so good and it's so impactful. Also, something I've kind of noticed, every person's a different color. Brian, Christian, Billy, Don, and Nate, and this is something that like Never the Crash has done for a while. If you follow them on their social medias, like they have different skull pictures where each person has a different eye. Heck, that's part of the reason why the tattoo is the colors that it is. I wonder if I have to get part of this filled in now because Nate's red. Anyway, but yeah, so Brian is green, Nate is red, Don's purple, Christian is black, I think, and then Billy is blue or not blue, orange. I could be wrong. It's been forever. Anyway. So, I'm a little bit of a gear nerd, obviously, if you're new here. And I know that Christian, I think he runs a Mesa bass amp into a dark glass cab, if I'm not mistaken. Don has the weirdest amp. It's like a driftwood. It's from Germany. It's purple. I think Nate's running a GCM 900 or 2000. I'm not sure, but it looks awesome. Much for the meek and sage. Okay, Billy, if you watch this video, please teach me how to scream. Seriously, your screaming is like perfect. It accents so well with Brian's voice. It's like, I mean, it's music, but it's literally music to my ears with how well it melds together because Brian has such a very distinct like tonal variation with his voice. And then you've got Billy's really impactful raspiness mixed in with a scream. It's insane. That thump in that bass is so clean and it's so sick. I love that. It's not distorted, but it's clean and low enough that it gives off the impression that it should be distorted because of how heavy of a riff it is. And it is the perfect break to go back into that intro after the really heavy chorus. Into this really sick bridge. Okay, so before we get into like this bridge, I know I'm pausing a lot. I'm sorry. So it seems like Billy right here is playing the character of doubt or like your demons that are in your head. And Brian is being held back by those demons. He's being held down and he's blinded by the voices in his head that are telling him he's not good enough. The voices that are telling him, you know, like the world is terrible and stop and be like upset or whatever. Just like that's kind of the vibe I get from this whole scene. It's really cool. And also like again, the whole like color variation with like the green, and I think maybe Billy's color actually might be yellow because in the corner where Billy is at, it's yellow. I know he has red flannel on, but like they all wear flannel most of the time. Anyway, it's a yellow, and then you go over to where Brian is, and it's green. It's colored so well, and yes, there's blue down here. Maybe like blue, purple. Maybe Don's just sitting in this corner hiding. I don't know. But anyway, the color, I don't know. It's just very interesting. And again, that Billy is playing a character essentially. I don't know. I like that. Okay, that fade in, I think, is really important because if we go back, hold on, let me see if I can go back. So it's like Billy and like the voices of Brian in his head are screaming at him. They're doing everything they can to get him down. And then it cuts back to, the band in the warehouse situation playing. But then it fades in to that. And it's like Brian is being unbound or unblindfolded, essentially, from his doubt and getting absolution to being able to move on and, like, do this. I could just be reading way too much into that, too, by the way. I'm sorry, Billy. This is awesome, but you look like a hype man at a wrestling thing, and I love it. Okay, so I was showing this to my fiance earlier. Nate, are you related to the guitar player of 3 Days Grace? Because you look like you could be like his cousin or like his slightly hairier twin brother, like your facial features with the awesome beard and the long hair. It just makes me think of the guitar player of 3 Days Grace. I also like the mixing that they're doing in with like the cell phones and like people scrolling, because I'm going to take a guess that because the lines about abysmal power, I think is just that the power that we give to, I guess, like you could say the internet or to doom scrolling or TikTok or like Facebook or any social media is an abysmal amount of power that they hold over us. So you could technically take the whole thing with like Billy is maybe the hate comments someone gets, or the news that you see, or like all the bad things in the world, that you are giving that power by just scrolling on your phone and looking at it constantly. And that is what that power is. And so going back to like seeing people scrolling, just doom scrolling on their phones, sitting in their bed, is us as a society giving that power to those people, or giving that power up and giving social media that power over top of us and controlling us, when all we want to do is be able to be set free. Oh, I love that. And the fade out with it like landing on the microphone. So that could technically represent like Brian has spoken his piece and now he's walking away and like he's left his message. Okay. What'd y'all think? I thought that was really good. Now I'm a huge fan of their previous EP, and there's a running bet with the band that I had a favorite song picked, and everybody, I think, had figured out what it was before I'd even told them. And I'm wondering if they have that for this album as well. And they were right, too. It was Verona. That was my favorite song off their EP. I haven't quite decided. I've got a couple contenders because I was just re-listening to the album before I set this up because my phone was dying and it needed to charge. But back to the music video. First of all, the production in like everything with this video, and I'm going to go back here. Ooh, I like that. I didn't notice that the first time. The color transition on Nate, where it goes between the color maybe that he represents, which is red, back into the situation. Maybe that's like each time it shows a color of someone, it's because it does black and white with Christian and then purple with Don. Maybe that's like everybody's representation of switching between reality and like the voices in our heads like screaming at us. Okay, so I'm going to take if I can get a good screen. Okay, whatever. In the early 2000s, late 90s and early 2000s, if you notice and pay attention to a lot of nu metal music videos, they all had the color green in them. And it was very representative of like the culture at the time. Like The Matrix and stuff like that, along with the scene. I mean, a lot of goths, emos, whatever you want to say from that time period. Really, like, vibed with that. I mean, there's a big reason why neon green and, like, biohazard symbols are associated with, like, trip genes and stuff like that. But, other vibrant colors with the black. But green was a really big color. If you look at some Linkin Park music videos, some Korn music videos, Limp Bizkit videos, a lot of nu metal bands from that time period have green in the video. Now, again, I am going to go with the theory that each color represents a character or a person, and when they are switched between them being in that moment in their color, like, for example, early in the music video, Nate, it switches to Nate in red. He's angry and he punches the wall and he's got his head kind of leaned up against it. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on. Right here. And that, again, represents, in my opinion, it could represent, like, you just dealing with your demons and, like, the control that you're giving away. And letting that power over top of you. I don't know. I just think it's very interesting. Christian doesn't really have something like that. Like, it does cut to him in black and white, but he doesn't really have, like, a situation where he's, like, covering his face out of anger or fear. He's, like, punching something. Don is just always crazy on stage, so that really translates well to when he's doing a music video because he's always moving. So you could really use that either way. But I don't know, just something like this. And then also there's Brian a couple times, like, literally covers his face and does this kind of a thing. And it in his green section or his colors section. So I think that's very interesting. Top notch. Like, seriously, guys, this is an amazing music video. I am really proud of you guys. I've watched this 5 times today, and I've binged the song a ton. Please, go follow Never the Crash on all their social media platforms. Check out all their older music. They have an EP out, called Lessons in Grace and Violence. I think I said that right. And they even have a couple singles before that, if you want to really dig, that are actually really good. But be on the lookout for their album. I think it comes out on the 25th. I could be wrong. Again, check all their social medias. That'll have a lot more concrete info. And, seriously, stay tuned for more stuff that they have. I know I've already talked with them about them if they're doing another music video, and they did. If this is something you like, me doing music video reactions, let me know. I'm down with doing more of this. I know, like I said, Fault of the People has their single Puppet come out on June 5th, and that does have a music video. So, yes, no, we'll see. But thank you for bearing with me on this experimental thing I've never done before. I hope you all have a great day. Jack Punkington signing out. Peace, everybody.